Alright, welcome back to the Bachelor Review Show with Stacey B and the husband.
Hi!
Hello!
We just finished watching tonight's episode of The Bachelor. Oh my god, craziness going on. Did you enjoy it?
I did almost as much as the Superbowl.
Yes, the Super Bowl is over, which means football season's over. Yay! I can have the husband finally to talk to again.
It's time to start prepping for the fantasy draft. For next year. For next
football?
Yeah. Gotta do the draft.
We've got like 6 months.
Magazines are coming to be on the shelves in like 3 months. I gotta start doing my prep work.
Basically what happens is in like at some point in mid-July when like everyone else is at the beach and having a good time, like this magazine arrives at our apartment. And it's like, oh God, there goes my husband. And, you know, for weeks he's in the bathroom with the door shut. I'm like, what are you doing in there? And he's like studying statistics.
I decided I study until I can't feel my feet. And that's when I know I've done a thorough job.
Too much information. But anyway, he'll be studying this book. And then it's like, you know, sometimes I come home from work, I'm like, what did you do today? He's like, oh, I had the busiest day. He's like, I was doing a mock draft where he'll actually pretend to be drafting players for a fantasy draft that doesn't exist.
Didn't I try to get you to do like a fantasy bachelor draft?
Yeah, except that it's impossible because you don't know anything about the girls until you actually see the show. And, you know, the girls that you see that are really hot on the pictures, they never turn out to be like the ones that stick around. So
the least you could do is like pull names out of a hat on the first day, and that way, you know, $20 entry, pull a name out of a hat, and then you ride that horse. Sometimes she might.
These women are not horses. Oh my God. Yeah, so we watched the fantasy, we watched the Super Bowl yesterday and got invited to some parties, but guess what we ended up doing?
We were right here. I should have videotaped it all.
We sat on this couch for like 8 hours yesterday and watched all the commercials. We watched Christina Aguilera kind of muff up the Star Spangled Banner.
With the lyrical problems.
Yes. The only reason that we noticed is because the husband puts bets on random things such as...
Oh, that's right. I bet that Christina Aguilera would hold the word brave, the last word of the national anthem, for over 6 seconds. And I think she held it for about 13.4. So, way to go, Christina. It doesn't matter that you messed up the words, it just matters that you said my word for longer than 6 seconds, so thank you.
So how much money did you win?
$8.
Thrilling.
Which went to our pizza that we ordered. We made the mistake of ordering like around halftime, and we called, and now we live in New York, this is almost blasphemy, but we ordered in pizza from Domino's.
I don't think you should tell people that.
I know, that's almost, yeah, it completely discredits us. But we really wanted the thin crust pizza.
I wanted the Cinnasticks with vanilla dipping sauce.
That's why we got Domino's.
But, you know, before that, you know, I want you to know the husband strategized all week, basically, on what we were going to eat during the Super Bowl because he's been trying to cut back on his carb intake, sugar intake. He's been talking to me, should we order from this pizza place, should we order from that pizza place, should we get Italian food, maybe we should get some Chinese food, maybe we should get Mexican, maybe we should get Indian, and I
would have settled for like a pint of lard.
I would settle for a decision. Just make a decision. Like, you know it's going to be good. Just order the pizza. Who cares where it's from?
All right. Nevertheless, Domino's took like 3 hours to get here, and it was like room temp. It couldn't have been more miserable, but the Cinnasticks were really good.
He was so
disappointed. The 20% of the Cinnasticks that I got were good.
I wolfed them down because I was starving. I was like, by the time you made a decision, we had to wait an hour, and then the food got here.
Mid-third quarter once the food arrived.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The only thing more exciting than the Super Bowl was The Bachelor. Tonight's show, holy cow, Michelle, crazy, creeping up into his room after hours and being like, you're going to ditch this one, you're going to ditch this one, this person's not right for you. I mean, Brad is not going to appreciate that, and yet he still keeps her around. Why does he keep Michelle around?
I don't know. You know, sometimes there's that part of people who kind of like the games, or, you know, I don't know. She's got those meat hooks into him. Because, you know, every time that he starts to, like, maybe question, like, I don't know about this girl, she just, like, lunges in and just jams her tongue in his mouth, and it's kind of a good way to put out any doubt fires.
She does it like she's in a soap opera. Like, every time she kisses him, it's like, has to be so sensual. It's like... And then like, she's got, like, I don't want to be mean, but I'm going to. Her ears, like, I think
Don't leave her ears alone.
No, it's like she wears, I think it's from wearing stretched out earrings.
That could be something.
And it's just not a good angle when they show her kissing him. She's a gorgeous girl, believe me. She's like a supermodel, but, especially when she like lays out in like her red bikini boobs, and she's
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some of the other girls. Chantel, she's in love. I mean, that didn't take very long. A couple weeks.
The funeral director?
No.
Oh,
Chantel, not Chantel.
I need
Chantel. Chantel with the blush and the leopard dress. What was up with that dress? Who wears a dress like that?
I need like a Waffle House menu placard that has like the pictures and the names.
Okay, Chantel and him were the ones that,
she's the one who slapped him at the very beginning when she came out of the limo. Okay, that's Chantel.
Yes, and she's the one that admitted that she was in love with him tonight.
That's right. Well, I think, you know what she said? She realized that what's-her-name snuck off to go meet with him.
Yes.
And so she's like, Michelle keeps doing these aggressive things. I got to do something. I got to beat her to the punch with the L word. That's what I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah.
So,
but of course she says that she already
like,
has
I'm in love with you. I think I'm in love with you.
She's like, I have no incentive to say that because I already have a rose, but I love you. I know you can't say anything back. And then he's like nuzzles her neck. All right, enough about Chantel. I'm not really into her. I mean, she's gorgeous, she's sweet, but I feel like, I don't know. I don't know that it would work.
Well, I think like, you're going to see contestants, should we say, or potential wives, like Britt. Britt, I'm having a little indigestion in this podcast. Britt, she seems to be playing it right. Like let all the crazy people, like let their crazy out, and then she can just kind of swoop in and...
I'm a little nervous about your hand gestures. I feel like I'm going to get smacked in the face. Let's talk about Allie. Allie really thought that she was like going to get a rose and was developing feelings. That like dinner when they were sitting on an island in a pool, which I thought they were going to drown for a second, no chemistry at all. I felt the awkwardness when they were making small talk.
Yeah, I mean they had nothing to really say to each other, and I don't know. They just we didn't really see much chemistry at any point on during the show. And that was really awkward when she was kind of like basically explaining to him like that feeling of, well, if you don't feel anything, I don't know. I don't remember exactly what she was saying. But she was basically describing exactly what their relationship was, which was just friends. Yeah.
But then she's like, I could see myself spending every day with you and like being with you every day. And he's like, yeah, not so much. Well, he said he could, but platonically, which is like the worst thing a girl who's interested in a guy can hear. Like, no, I'm sorry, I'm just not that into you. Yeah. Poor Allie, goodbye, on to the next. I mean, she was very sweet, but was never going to happen. The girls that are left, Chantel with the hot funeral director.
The silent game.
Silent, like stare him down.
Should we play the silent game right now?
We could. You
ready?
Yes. Okay, let's keep this PG. We don't know who's watching this.
I was inspired. You were silent for like 0.1 second.
I'm sorry. Well, I got excited.
She squeals when I kiss her.
We're in a podcast. It's hard to be silent during a talking,
this is true.
Interactive thing.
Bad game to
play
so
who left? Did you notice that the girl's hair was like a little frizzy, out of control? It's because they're in Costa Rica. Costa Rica, amazing. I went there in November of 2007 with a couple of my friends. It was awesome. We did zip lining. We went to like those hot springs. We went to a Tabacon resort. I don't know if that's where they were. And that volcano, was that Arenal? Does anyone know? I went to Arenal, like did a little bit of a hike, did a little bit of rainforest. Didn't see that many bugs. Definitely didn't go caving, but was awesome. Like it was definitely amazing. That resort they stayed at looked great. If any of you have ever been, tell us. Let us know what were your highlights of Costa Rica. Next week in Anguilla, and by the way, like this drives me nuts. Brad keeps calling it Anguilla, or what does he call it? Yeah.
Anguilla?
Anguilla, or no, he calls it Anguilla. It's Anguilla, right? I think.
I don't know. You got Antigua, you got Anguilla, you got
Anguilla.
Aunt Jemima.
Well, it's not Anguilla. I don't know.
There's a lot of Gillas.
It looks really nice.
It does look really nice. And I've never been to Costa Rica, so yeah, please tell us about your wonderful experiences.
Emily, let's end it with Emily. She seems like she's got to get her stuff together or it's not going to happen. I mean, she's like pulling away, like I always sabotage relationships, but thank God she came to her senses and realized that was a really bad thing to say to someone that you're trying to be in a relationship with.
But there's like talking and there's doing, and I don't necessarily think that she might not be ready for the next relationship. Maybe
I think that they focus so much on her backstory. That was 6 years ago. I feel like that like was to bring the viewers in, make them sympathetic. But I think she really is ready to move on.
But she's so ugly.
Oh, excuse me.
I couldn't
I'm sorry.
More perfect time.
I'm sweating.
Well, Stacey is winning the gas war right now.
Sorry, just couldn't help myself.
It is warm. It is warm in here.
It's so warm in here because it's like 40 degrees compared to when it was about 5 degrees and blizzarding last week. So I'm getting, like, it's tropical.
Well, that's what happens here in New York. It's like 30 or 40 degrees. All the buildings, they keep the heat on.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need it all the time. So we're probably the only people that sleep with the air conditioning on in 30-degree weather.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What are you going to do?
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 So, I don't know. We should probably wrap up. I don't have the stop watch
No, we're
going,
probably
so
over our allotted
about
time.
10,
Do you know
12
that
minutes.
YouTube cuts you off after 15 minutes? They don't let you post anything longer than 15 minutes.
Would you want this to last longer than...
Some people would.
No, your father and not even my mother. I don't know. I don't think she'll approve.
It's because you're not wearing a collared shirt.
I'm not wearing a collared shirt. I'm sorry, Mom. I should be wearing a collared shirt. But I got a shirt that you got me, Pong, because I do like video games.
Yes.
And I'm trying to keep that demographic, the ceiling of the demographic. I try to keep pushing it up.
What demographic?
You know, the people who play video games. They're like,
they're watching Bachelor.
The demographic
podcasts?
is like 18 to 30. There's probably a lot of Xbox and PlayStation people checking this out right now.
Doubtful.
No, there's no one.
No.
Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. But thanks for checking this out.
And let us know your comments. We would love to
Yeah.
hear if you have questions or
Yeah, if
comments
you watch this
about...
video, leave a comment, even if it's to make fun of my Pong shirt or Stacey gassing in my face.
That would happen for 1 second.
That was 1 second
Yeah.
of 12 minutes or whatever this is. And with that, you all have a good night.
Good night.
Ow!
Ow!
Oh, sorry.